21.38 so far. We hope we'll have some of the athletes posting this time. Remember, it's only athletes who posted this time. That is the minimum qualification time. That is 21.38 seconds. Those are the athletes that will be selected to represent.
To get a chance to represent Kenya during the World Under 20 Championships that will be set to be held here at the Kasarani in August. It's a very warm morning. I hope the weather keeps on this way until the end. Also, I can see the hammer guys preparing to set off, as well as the high jumpers. With the high jumpers, we'll start with the women final. That is Zivnya Gemeli of Nairobi, Zedi Chesire of Nairobi, Sarah Elijah of South Nyanza. And then for the men high jump final, they'll be looking to make a jump of 2.16 meters. We have Nixon Kikuruisigei of Central Lift, Norbert Kiprotich of North Lift, Alan Ayona of South Nyanza, Dennis Kiprotich Kichepkonyi of South Rift, Nicholas Kipnetich of South Rift, Maxwell Kipchang of Western, Emmanuel Kirui Bet is an individual athlete. And then after the high jump, we shall be having the discussed throw women final, where we'll be having Maureen Milka Akisa of Central, Purity Chepkirui of Nairobi, Sharon Chepto of Nairobi, Millicent Komen of North Rift, Linda Kahenga of Nyanza, Viola Mora of Nyanza, Maureen Naliaka of Western. In the discus throw final men, we have James Maigwa of Central, Nathan Kibiwot of Central Rift, Titus Kiplimo Limo also of Central Rift, David Kelly of Nairobi, and Dennis Kipsigei. And the second heat of the men is now underway. Looking forward to seeing.
Whenever there is a problem with the supply of fuel in the world,
people who will score, who will secure the place in the second place. And then we have 2096 from Uganda. He has qualified.
Basi huyu kijana kutoka Uganda anatoa kuhudu sekunde 21.38 na yeye ameandikisha sekunde 20.96. Tusubiri official result. Kwa sisi kwa macho tunaona kwamba amefuzu kwa michezo ya vijana chini ya umri wa miaka 20, manake tayari amekimbia ile muda ambao unatakikana, lakini wale wataleta official wanatuletea official report ndio tuweze kuambia kwa hakika ameweza kufuzu kwa michezo ya vijana chini ya umri wa miaka 20. The time he has posted already is
there we go. We've witnessed the Ugandan taking first position in the second heat of the 200 men. That is heat 2. It's been an amazing race. He's posted a time of 20.56. We are waiting for the official confirmation for that. But it's been a wonderful, wonderful race. He just beat his opponent by far. Something that we've not witnessed in the last few races. And it's happening here at Kasarani Stadium.
Kia Tirena anauliza timu ya nani
Remember, there was Benson Kombe, Delvis Cheruyot, Nixon Gitonga, Joseph Moore, Joshua Mamba, Daniel Simiu, and Benjamin Uthele of the university. And there we go, the third heat of the 200 meters men. Heat 3 is almost underway, and we have 8 athletes in that with the best having posted a qualification time of 21.5. Sekain Merrick of South Rift, David Konde of Northeastern, Nelson Luceno of the universities, Samuel Kibet of Central Rift, Francis Ndiwani of Coast, and Elkana Kiprotich of Nyanza South, born on 29th of November 2002, having a time of 22.60 seconds. Remember, this is the 200 men heat 3 taking place in a while, as the field events also take place on the other side. I know Charity will be giving us an update. Remember, we'll be joined by Daniel Wahome later on in this live streaming on the Athletics Kenya page. Remember, this is the trials for the World Under-20 Championship that will be taking place in Nairobi in the next few weeks, precisely August 2021. We are preparing for heat 3 of the men 200 meters.
Over to the 200 meters third heat. We have the women preparing themselves for the high jump final. They'll be looking up to make a jump of 1.82 meters. In the women's finals, we have Darziv Nyaha Jemeli of Nairobi. We have Zedi Chesire of Nairobi also, Sarah Elijah of Nyanza South. And then in the men high jump final, they'll be looking forward to make a jump of 2.16 meters. Nixon Kirue Sigei of Central Rift, Norbert Kiprotich, Alan Haran Anyoya of Nyanza, Dennis Kiprotich Chepkonyi, Nicholas Kipngetich, Maxwell Kipsang of Western, Emmanuel Kipirui will all be looking for a chance of making a 2.16 jump to qualify for the World Under-20 Championships that will be set to be held here at the Kasarani.
And there we go. The boys preparing for heat 3.
He was whipped, his body badly beaten. His hands and feet were pierced. He bled for us. He died for us. For our wrongdoings, Jesus, the Son of God, hung on a cross as a living sacrifice. However, he didn't stay dead. Jesus defeated death, and he rose 3 days later. He came to pull us out of hopelessness and give us peace and the gift of eternal life. To accept this gift, you can ask him for forgiveness and share with him that you believe he died for you and your wrongdoings. Recognize that he rose from the dead for you. You can thank him for his sacrifice on the cross and put your trust in him alone. Click the button to chat with an online volunteer about discovering faith in Jesus Christ.
Time is 21.38 seconds. We've already seen one athlete post at a time of 20.56 seconds. That is the Ugandan to qualify for the event. Already is in because he's posted that time. But right now we have Sylvester Simiu, Sinkain Merrick, David Konde, Nelson Luceno, Samuel Kibet, Francis Ndiwani, of course, Elkana Kiprotich, and Semi PL Deng PL of Sudan. And we are ready. And there we go. For the 200 meters men, hit 3, and there they come. All of them seeking for that qualification time. Look at that beautiful takeoff. Who's going to take it home? .08 seconds is the time posted.
You've priority, that's what I'm saying here. But if you feel it's not enough, but camera ni hapa, this line. Nakuja kuelezea mali. Sehemu ya rekoda Karen Kirigo, Stanley Jogu, Ross Fulfio, Charlotte Kargoi, James Wenda, Samuel Kamoni, Jeremiah Kimaru, Barnaba Koek, Brenda Oyugi, Viola Chituma, tunatafuta background na huyu wewe ndio nini, so why don't you turn this on hii then you can't look, I know, but you understand on and you
And now we are prepared for the heat 4 of the 200 meters men. And those are the results of heat 3, where Elkana Kiprotich from Nyanza won in a time of 22.10. But now we are prepared for heat 4, where we have Mohamed Adan.
Jana, I even told whoever was putting up this thing. Nani alikuwa na hiki kijana? Who put it up? No, the person nilimwambia aifungue kwa hii. Because it has unataka gani? Ile safari kwa mama hii. Gani? Put safari kwa. Wana
Confirmation. Mohamed Adan, Northeastern, Kennedy Mutisia of Southern, Dismas Mwalimu, Siran Regao, Anthony Shonot, Joshua Ndombi, and Edwin Omondi of Nairobi. That is the men 200 meters hit 4. Mohamed Adan, Kennedy Mutisia, Dismas Mwalimu, Simani Regao, Anthony Shonoi, Joshua Ndombi, and Edwin Omondi from Nairobi. Charity, if you can hear me.
Yes, Greg, I can hear you well. The women high jump final has already started, and off the first one was Zavir Nya Jemeli of Nairobi, and Zedi Chesire has also taken her jump. She's being followed by Sarah Elijah. We only have 3 women in the high jump. who are hoping to make it for the 1.8 meters jump. Right now, the men are preparing to set off in the 200 meters heat 4 actually. So sorry about that. We have Mohammed Adan of Northeastern, Kennedy Mutisia of Southern Eastern in lane 2, Dismas Mwalimu in lane 3 of Coast, Samini Regeu Nyanza South. We also have his teammate James Machoka, Nyanza South, Anthony Shinoti of Western in lane 6. In lane 7, we have Joshua Ndombi, North Rift. We also have in lane 8, Edwin Omondi of Nairobi. They'll be looking forward to make a qualification of 21.38 seconds for them to get a chance to represent their country at the World Under-20 Championships.
Ready right now. Ready right now.
A second false start in the 200 meters men hit 4. That means trouble for one of the athletes. We'll be knowing who that is in a while. But a very good insight there from Charity, taking us through whatever is happening in the field events and whatever is happening also in the world of athletics. As we can see also the high jumpers trying so hard to beat that qualification time. And it's something that is happening right here. All the events are happening right here at Kasarani Stadium in Nairobi, the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, the home of the World Under-20 Athletics Championships. And we have a red card. That means that we'll have lane 1, that is Mohammed Adan of Northeastern, has been kicked out after that second false start. It means that we'll have only 7 participants in the 200 meters men hit 4 that is almost underway. Another false start. That means that one of the athletes is also gonna take an early shower even before competing. So it's a very, very sad state of affairs, especially if you've prepared enough to come and compete to beat the time of 21.38 seconds and represent your country in the World Under-20 Championship. Then this happens. Very, very, very tough to take. But it is what it is, as they say. We'll be confirming who that is in a while. It's a green card, it's not a red card. It means that at least this reprieve, the athletes have been told to stand up. It's going to take some time also to see this race start, but it seems to be a group that has very psyched up athletes for this event. Remember, we had Mohammed Adan, Kennedy Mutisia of Southern, Dismas Mwalimu of Coast, Simani Rega of Nyanza North, Anthony Shonot of Western, Joshua Ndombi of North Rift, and Edwin Omondi of Nairobi, all lined up to seek that qualification time for the men 200 meters. Remember, this is hit 4. Another false start. That means that right now we might see a red card. We are waiting to see who has been given the marching orders. It's lane 2. It's lane 4 actually. That is Simani Regau of Simani Regau of Nyanza North has been red carded for a false start. It's very, very unfortunate for the kid that had come into this race with a time of 24.06, hoping to rather compete and earn that ticket to represent Kenya in the World Under-20 Athletics Championships that will be happening in Nairobi in the next few weeks. Now we are down to 6 after 2 dismissals. Charity. Charity, if you can hear me. As we are waiting for Charity to come through, we are waiting also for the restart of the 200 meters men heat 4 that will be happening here in a while. 2 dismissals, Mohamed Adan of Northeastern and Simani Regau of Nyanza North. As you can see on your screens, those are the athletes preparing to start the 200 meters men heat 4. There we have Joshua Ndombi on your screen with bib number 363. Anthony Shonot, 244. Waiting for the gun to go. This time, no faults. Everyone seems focused and ready for the 200 meters men heat 4. And there we go. Finally, 5 athletes taking the bend beautifully and hoping to beat that time. It's 21.96 is the time posted by Joshua Ndombi of North Rift. Look at him beautifully taking that bend and ensuring that he beats his markers. Joshua Ndombi of North Rift. Very, very, very beautiful. 21.56 is the time that he posted, just slightly below the 21.38, the qualification time. But remember, there is still room for improvement, especially when heading into the latter stages of the 200 meters. That is the semi-final and the final. Right now, we have Joshua Ndombi winning the heat 4 of the 200 meters men. Remember, other events taking place concurrently with the track events are the high jump women final, where we have 3 participants. That is Dar Ziv Jelemi of Nairobi, who has a personal best of 1.70 meters. Zedi Chesir of Nairobi, 1.70 meters. Sarah Elijah of Nyanza South, also competing. And remember, the qualification time for this is 1.82 meters. And there you go, Joshua Ndombi winning the 200 meters men heat 4, 22.0. Edwin Omondi of Nairobi, 23.00 seconds.
Maybe one videographer can focus on the high.
Nimejaribu mafuta na sabuni nyingi, hazikusaidia kurelieve eczema, dryness, or my baby's sensitive skin. Tangu nigundue the new Nice and Lovely Baby Naturals wash. Ni soothing during bath time na haiwashi macho. Ngozi imebadilika kabisa. Thanks to Nice and Lovely Baby Naturals Jelly and Cream. Jionea mwenyewe, the power of 3-in-1 Jelly and Cream moisturizes, protects, and repairs. Chagua Nice and Lovely Baby Naturals. approved by pediatricians and dermatologists.
Hiyo ni sawa, hiyo ni photography. Kenya kwa high jump. Is that marking? Where were you marking? At the
And there we go, the rerun of hit 2 of the 200 meters. Remember they ran, but it was not approved. But here they come from hit 2, Benson Kombe, Davis Cheruiyot, Nicholas Gitonga, Joseph Moore, Daniel Simiu, and Benjamin Uthele. Team Nairobi taking that home. It was hit 1, pardon me, that was hit 1 that had Sid Marcus, Evans Kipyegon, Haji Chiliatio, Farha Mukhtar, of course, Stephen Otieno, Jonathan Mutua, Kevin Muriuki, and Grafin Otieno. Sid Marcus of Nairobi taking the first position in hit 1. Remember, they ran, but they were told that there was a fault. They had to run again. The high jump men final is also underway. We have 7 participants. That's Nixon Kipkurui of Central Rift with a personal best of 2.05 meters. Norbert Kiprotich of North Rift, Alan Haran Anyona of Nyanza South, Dennis Kiprotich Kepkwon of South Rift, Nicholas Kipngetich, Maxwell Kipchang of Western, and Emmanuel Kipkurui Bet. Looking at this, I think all of them have a chance of making it to the squad, because you look at the qualification time is not time, but rather the distance is 2.16 meters, and the height that is required for qualification, that is 2.16 meters for the high jump. And it's the final event with each of the athletes posting at least very good times for posting very good heights for qualification. That's like Nixon Kipkurui 2.05 meters. Yes, and just as I was telling you about the high jump men final, we are preparing for the 5,000 men first semi-final. And of the 5,000 meters, 16 participants in this pool. And there we go. Simon Korambu, Emmanuel Kiplagat, Frederick Tomon, Isaac Kialo, Maxwell Kijono, Joseph Njoroge, Dennis Kipkurui Nairobi, Victor Chepkwony, Ruben Musin, Timothy Kibet, Vincent Omota, Benson Kiplangat, Ambrosila, Liki Kamina, Dennis Kirop, and Felix Kibet of Western. Remember the qualification time here as they take the first bend is 14 minutes and 12 seconds. Afterwards, we'll have the 5,000 men semi-final 2 with also 17 athletes expected to take part. Eliud Kahiga of Central, Samuel Kibati of Central, Levi Kibet, Benson Mutua of Coast, Shadrach Rono, Bonfast Kimani, Emmanuel Kosieye, Jonathan Kipkoech, Felix Korir, Frederick Domongole of North Rift, Andrew Kipto of Nyanza South, Charles Nyangacha of Nyanza South, Evans Cheriot, Ezra Kiplangat, Nelson Mandela, James Bokoita, and Michael Kiplagat. That is the semi-final 2. But here we are with semi-final 1. The athletes are trying so hard to get that qualification time. But first, qualifying for the final of the event, that is the 5,000 men hit 1, where we have Simon Korambu, Emmanuel Kiplangat, Frederick Tomon, Isaac Kialo, Maxwell Kijiono, Joseph Njoroge of Eastern, Dennis Kipkurui, Nairobi, Victor Chepkwony of Nairobi, Ruben Musin of Northeastern, Timothy Kibet, North Rift, Vincent Omota of Nyanza South, Benson Kiplangat of South Rift, Ambrose Sila, Southern, Liki Kamina, Dennis Kiprop, and Felix Kibet. Remember, these are athletes who are under 20 years of age, fighting out for positions to represent the country in next month's World Under-20 Championships. That will be happening here in Nairobi. Remember, wherever you are, welcome to Nairobi. It's sunny in Nairobi right now, contrary to what it was during the National Olympic Trials. As we see the athletes trying out so hard to make sure that they make that qualification time. We've witnessed the 200 meters men and women hits, all of them taking place here. And so far, we've got only one qualification time. That is the Ugandan qualifying with a time of 20.56. Very, 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 very brilliant piece of running. A brilliant young man who just has shown the potential he has, because he beat the rest of the field to clinch that position. But this is the second lap of the men to 5,000 meters that is currently underway. Heading into the third lap of the 5,000 meters men, the first semi-final. The athletes really trying hard, but it started separating so early, whereby the leading pack has just gone with 2 athletes lagging behind. There we go, lap 3. Simon Korambu of Central, Emmanuel Kiplagat, Frederick Tomon, Isaac Kialo, Maxwell Kijiono, Joseph Njoroge, Kipkurui Dennis, Victor Chepkwony, Ruben Musin, Timothy Kibet, Vincent Omota, Benson Kiplangat, Ambrose Sila, Liki Kamina, Dennis Kiprop and Felix Kibet each trying to earn that qualification time. It's quite fast as we head into the fourth lap. At the same time, the long jump event is ongoing. Discus is almost underway. I can see preparations really in top notch. Remember 2 weeks ago, we were here for the athletics trials, the national trials for the Olympics, and we had 42 athletes selected to represent the country in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics that happen in the next 22 days. It's just a matter of days, exactly 3 weeks to go. But there we go. These athletes are really, really trying hard to ensure that they stay together as a pack in the 5,000 meters men first semi-final happening here at Kasarani Stadium in Nairobi. Wherever you are watching, welcome. This is the national trials for the World Under-20 Championships, Nairobi, Kenya. Emmanuel Kiplagat of Central Rift leading the pack at the moment. Slowed a little bit. I think the heat and the altitude taking toll on these young athletes who each wants to prove their worth and earn that ticket towards qualification. That's Emmanuel Kiplagat leading. Joseph Njoroge also closing by in this 5,000 meters first semi-final. Remember the qualification time, 14 minutes and 12 seconds. Everyone's trying to stick together because you look at how they've lined up. No one wants to go further ahead or remain further behind. But now it's separated into a field of 3, as you can see on your screens. Kiplagat still trying really hard to stay in the first position. It's followed closely by Felix Kibet of Western, born on 5th of February 2002. Having a personal best time of 14 minutes, 9.92 seconds. That is Felix Kibet in the luminous bib, leading currently with Emmanuel Kiplagat of Central Rift up on his heels. Getting into the 10-minute mark, the pace slightly, or rather gradually, increasing with the leading pack of 6-7 athletes, trying hard to make sure that they finish in the top positions. But you can clearly see the distinction between these athletes. most of them have prepared well for this event, and I won't be surprised if at least 5 of them make a cut into the next stage. That is the final. Felix Kibet still leading. Emmanuel Kiplagat has fallen off a little bit, and it means that no one else, and we have a new leader. Felix Kibet has fallen into 3rd position currently, and we have a new leader. That shows you that these boys are really up to task and they know what they want, that ticket to represent the country in the World Under-20 Athletics Championships that will be happening in Nairobi. Remember, this is the second time Kenya is hosting a global athletics event after the 2017 World Under-18 Athletics Championships that were held here. You could see the fun, the pandemonium, the excitement that was there during that time. This time, though, things slightly different because everything is happening behind closed doors because of the restrictions due to the corona pandemic. There we go, the last lap of this race, the 5,000 meters men first semi-final. Kiplagat showing his intent early. There you see him trying to tear away from the rest of the pack. The athletes take the last lap. Into the last 200 meters. Felix Kibet of Western trying really hard to ensure that he beats the rest of the field. And there you see, coming out strongly. There we go, on the last bend towards the 100-meter stretch, the 5,000 meters men final, the first heat. And there we go, Felix Kibet really trying hard to ensure that he beats the rest of the pack. Will he get it? 13.56 is the time posted. Emmanuel Kiplagat of Central Rift. 13.56 is the time he has posted. Emmanuel Kiplagat, the winner of the first semi-final of the 5,000 meters happening here at Kasarani Stadium in Nairobi. With the other athletes still having a lap to go, they've really tried and bared with the conditions here at Kasarani. Remember, it's a high altitude area. Awaiting for the confirmation, Emmanuel Kiplagat of Central Rift posting a time of 13.56 to win the first semi-final of the 5,000 meters men. After this, the second semi-final will be taking place right here. I can see the athletes preparing on the other side, as the other two athletes who had not completed their laps are trying hard to complete. That is Vincent Omota of Nyanza South in position. It's not about winning at times, but trying out to see how much time you've posted. And on your screens is the second heat of the second, it's the second semi-final rather of the 5,000 meters men. That is the second semi-final. We're done with semi-final one, waiting the confirmation of results. But as it stands, Emmanuel Kiplagat of Central Rift, 13.56 is the time he posted, and definitely en route to earning that ticket to represent Kenya at the Global Championships. That will be happening right here at the Blue Track in Kasarani. As we prepare for the second semi-final of the 5,000 meters men. Eliud Kahiga, Samuel Kibathi Central, Levi Kibet, Benson Mutua of Coast, Shadrach Ron of Coast, Boniface Kimani of Eastern, Emmanuel Koiseye of Nairobi, Jonathan Kipkoech of Nairobi, Felix Korir of North Rift, Frederick Domongole of North Rift, Andrew Kipto, Nyanza South, Charles Nyangacha, Nyanza South, Evans Cheruyot, South Rift, Ezra Kiplagat, South Rift, Nelson Mandela, James Bokoita, and Michael Kiplangat. Both preparing, all of them preparing for the 5,000 meters second semi-final. And the athletes are getting ready. The start list confirmed. Eliud Kahiga, Samuel Kibathi, Levi Kibet, Benson Mutua, Shadrach Rono, Boniface Kimani, Emmanuel Koiseye, Jonathan Kipkoech, Felix Korir, Frederick Domongole, Andrew Kipto, Charles Nyangacha, Evans Cheruyot, Ezra Kiplangat, Nelson Mandela, James Bokoita, and Michael Kiplangat of Western. The qualification time remains 14 minutes and 12 seconds. And we've seen the best qualification time coming into the second semi-final of the 5,000 meters men is Boniface Kimani of Eastern, who's posted a time of 13 minutes 46.1 seconds. But we have other athletes who have also posted impressive times, like Ezra Kiplangat of South Rift, who has a time of 14 14.02. Michael Kiplangat of Western 14.10. And there we go, the second semi-final of the 5,000 meters men. Quite a sprint in the first lap. It's quite unprecedented, not seen by many, but I think it's a matter of athletes trying to find, trying getting the space that will enable them run smoothly, because this is a push and shove event. If you are not careful, then you'll be shoved out. Very, very fast off the blocks. That is the 5,000 men, the second semi-final.
Aye. Hit 2. Welcome back. We are still, the second 5,000 meter heat is still underway. Semi-final 2. We have Eliud Kahinga, Samuel Kirathi, Levi Kibet, Benson Mutua is also underway. Shadrach Rono, Boniface Kimani, Emmanuel Kisoe, Jonathan Kipkoech, Felix Koril, Frederick Ndongomole, Andrew Kipto, Charles Nyagachwa, Evan Steriot, Ezra Kiplagat, Nelson Mandela, James Bokita, and Michael Kiplagat. We have so far they are separate. These are separate group also. The heat is quite faster than the first one, and already some athletes. 7 athletes have already broken out from the rest. A pack of 7 is leading the rest of the athletes in trying to clock faster times for them to make it for the finals. So far, we have Felix Koril at the lead with Levi Kibet leading the pack also, and Shadrach Rono. So this is the second semi-final for the men. They'll be looking forward to clock the 14 minutes, 12.00 seconds for them to get a chance to make it to the semi-finals and also to qualify for World Under 20 to represent Kenya here at this venue in less than 40 days to come. As the 5,000 meter men goes on, we have the discus women final going, where we have Maureen Malika Akisa of Central, Purity Chepkirui Nairobi, Sharon Chepto of Nairobi, Millicent Komen of North Rift, Linda Kahegia of Nyanza, Viola Mora also from Nyanza, and Maureen Maliaka of Western. They are continuing with their throw. They'll be looking forward to make a qualifying mark of 79 meters. So far, they are each on their third throw. Meanwhile, the 5,000 meters is going on, and the race, a few have also been dropped in the leading pack, where we only have now 5 athletes taking charge of the race. Earlier on, we spoke to Kiplagat, who won the first heat. Kiplagat is also a former African champion in the 3,000 meters. He said that the race was not that easy because everyone was looking forward to clocking faster times today to ensure that they have their slot in Team Kenya. Kiplagat is looking forward to make his international debut and get his first gold medal in the men 5,000 meters. The men are also preparing themselves for the high jump. Also in the men we have Nixon Kipuruisigei of Central Rift, Norbert Kiprotich of North Rift, Alan Haron Nyoya of Nyanza. We have Dennis Kiprotich Epkonyi and Nicholas Kipngetich, both of South Rift, Maxwell Kipsang of Western, and Emmanuel Kikoril Bet individual. They are also preparing themselves for the high jump, which is also a final. Today we have about 4 finals. In the men high jump, discus women. In the men and women high jump, we have the discus throw women. We also have those are the 4 finals that we have today. So far, we have Felix Koril still leading together with Frederick Ndongomole, who is also from North Rift, leading the pack of 5 so far.
Nivea Black and White deodorant with 5 times anti-formula. I stay fresh and protected for 48 hours, and my clothes stay stain-free. World's #1 anti-stain deodorant from Nivea. Try it.
From the leading pack is now in among the last few athletes to be in the clock, while Charles Ngata of Nyanza South is at the end. The leading pack is now about to get underway. The race is just 13 laps to go. Still at the front is Felix, Levy, and Shadrach Rono leading, and then we have Frederick Ndongomole at the end. together with Shadrach Rono following. Black with a gray and black short, following them closely. We also have 3 or 4 is Evans Chariot, following the train, taking his own pace, taking time, while Boniface Kimani comfortably sitting at the back, being followed by Charles Nyangacha. There is a slight change at the front. David Kiprotich has taken charge of the race. Maxwell Kiptai and Emmanuel also taking now the lead. There are only 4 athletes remaining at the front. Actually, the park at the back is getting bigger since the heat and altitude is taking a bit toll on the young athletes as they prepare themselves for the World Under 20. Levi Kibet has decided to break off from the park, followed by Samuel Kirbathi, who is chasing him for the second place. There is a slight gap between the two of them of about 60 meters following. It will be interesting to know why he decided to pull out such early, but the field is quite spread out right now. There are a few fans in the field who also have their own different roles playing here.
Remember, we have this is the last but not least in our today's program.
Remember, this is the first day of the World Under 20 trials. Here at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani in Nairobi, which will be looking forward in August to host a couple of international athletes. Right now, the bell has gone for Felix Kibet. Who broke off. That's the last lap. And is putting on quite a bigger gap, followed by his second place.
For the second semi-final of the 5,000 meters final.
We're looking forward to see how everything is going on as Felix is about to cross the finish line. We'll have to hear what he's going to be saying about the race after the bell went off for him about One. He's gone through 13 minutes, 26.12 seconds.
That is the second semi-final of the 5,000 meters men. Waiting for the final results from the 5,000 meters. That is the men's second semi-final. Coming up, the 400 meters hurdle, the first semi-final, the first women's semi-final. Qualification time of 1 minute, 1.0075 to be precise. We have 7 participants: Rahab Wanjiru from Central, Agnes Mtindi from Southern, Judith Jeruto, Sharon Chepngetich, Central, Valentine Mokaya from Nyanza South, and Sheila Cherotich of South Rift.
World Under 20 Championship. Yes.
So far kwa mazoezi nini unataka kusharpen on?
Nataka ni sharpen speed work. Yeah.
That was Levi Kibet, who has secured his place for the men 5,000 meter finals. Up next is the women 400 meters final, where we shall be having 2 heats so far, and then it will be followed by the men semi-final. Greg.
Levi Kibet winning the 5,000 meters second semi-final. Just in a few moments, we'll be confirming the qualification time, rather the times posted by the two. Shortly, I'll be joined by Daniel Wahome to take you through the day's events. But Charity down there giving you a closer insight to whatever is happening on the track and field events happening here at Nairobi. Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani. Remember, it's day 1 of the World Under-20 Athletics Trials in Nairobi. The team will be selected on Saturday to represent the country in the World Under-20 Athletics Championships that will be held in Nairobi. Remember, it's the second time we are hosting, Kenya is hosting rather, a major global athletics event. That is after the World Under-18 Athletics Championships that took place in 2017 right here at Kasarani. It was very, 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 very eventful, packed to the brim, but times have changed. Right now, everything is happening behind closed doors. And as I said, shortly we'll be joined by Daniel Wahome, I know he was a hurdler before. Welcome, Mr. Wahome.
Actually, I was hurdling short fences.
Yes, remember this is the World Under-20 Trials right here at Kasarani, and plenty of events happening. Wahome, I know you've gone through the events of the day. You know what is coming up. The 400 meters women first semi-final hurdles.
Well, this is a hurdles event, and the height is not the conventional height that you'd find with people like Delilah Mohammed. It's 0.762 meters, so it's slightly shorter than what you'd find with the senior women. And 2 semi-finals, and we've got a total of 12 athletes. The entry standard is 1 minute 0.75 seconds, or 60.75. So far, none of the Kenyan athletes have met that mark, and that means 62.3 is the best, and this is from U-20 Nyagena, who's going to be running in the second semi-final, and she has got that opportunity. The question is, can she hack it at altitude? Abwanjiro from Central, 69.5 is her performance coming into these championships. Agnes Mitindi Ngombe, 68.3 is her time from Southern. Judy Jeruto from North Rift, 67.3. Sharon Chepngetich, she's had a proper electronic timing, 67.22. Valentine Mokaya from Nyanza South, 62 flat. The question is, can she drop 1.25 seconds and make it to the World Under-20s? And the reason why we've got quite a huge number of athletes is because Athletics Kenya made the decision to invite from athletes from the region, 220 women, 274 men at these championships, Gregory.
That's a huge number, bearing the fact that we are in for a few slots to see if we can have these athletes make the qualification time. But looking at these times posted by these athletes in the first semi-final, there is Valentine Mokaya who promises maybe to beat this time of 1 minute, 0.0075 seconds.
That is what we are looking at as the athletes now make their way to their starting blocks. And we have got 5 of them. And it has also been mentioned that one athlete from Nairobi has been excluded from one of the semi-finals in men's 400 meters hurdles, and we're going to be talking about that in just a short while. So far, looking at those who've done so, this being a sprint event, the timing has to be electronic, not by hand. It has to be electronic. But looking at it, looks like we could have a couple of athletes making it through. So the athletes making their way to the start line. We've got Reha Bonjiro, who has got that sticker number 2 on her eye. She's making her way to the starting block, and that's going to be her lane. She's picked the wrong lane. She's supposed to be in lane 2, but she looks like she's picked lane 1. May need a little bit of guidance to pick the correct lane. Well, she does so. And in lane 3, coming from Southern, we've got Agnes Mitindi Ngombe. 68.3 is her personal best. So we've got to look at that as they make adjustments to their starting blocks. Also going on at the moment, we can see some of the field events. The high jump is expected also to start at this point. Everyone looking to be the next Matthew Sawe as far as this event is concerned.
Matthew Sawe actually qualified for the Olympics after posting that qualification time. Not many expected that to happen because we are not known for events like high jump.
Well, for Matthew Sawe, he holds the national record. He's Africa's best high jumper at the moment. And we've got to... And we've got to acknowledge that by being ranked 24th, all along, he was in that top, in that qualification group that World Athletics had set that standard quite a long time ago. And he was always within that bracket. So that means that he had qualified by virtue of being those athletes who had made the quarter. So in a field event, 2 athletes, we've got Julius Yego in the javelin, and we also have got Matthew Sawe in the high jump. But back to the action that we've got right now, as we see the athletes who are in the high jump men's final. And the qualification mark is 2:16. That's what we're seeing in our pictures right now as they do warm up. Nixon Kipkiruisi Gay, 2.05 is his personal best, the best performer so far from Central Rift. Norbert Kiprotich, 1.85. That's what he has set. And we also have got Alan Hanan Anyona from Nyanza South. We've got Dennis Kiprotich, 2.02. We have got Nicholas Teach, Mac Given, and Maxwell Kipchang from Western, 2.03 meters is his best jump.
Yes, so, and there we are at least preparing for the first semi-final of the 400 meters hurdle.
Okay. So now we've got the athletes, and they are already having a feel of their blocks, trying to adjust, the length between the front foot and the jumping foot. So that's where they are. How close are those blocks as they take their positions? Lane 2, we've got Rehab Bonjiro from Central, 69.5 is her mark. We have got Agnes Bitindi Ngombe, 68.3. Judy Geruto, 67.3. Sharon Teach, 67.22. And Valentine Mukaya in lane 6, 62 flat. The rules of qualification to the final are usually very simple in this case. The first 3 pass the line and the other 2 based on the qualifying mark. And it is at the final that these athletes then can strive to make 60.75. And when you talk about under 20 women and under 18 women, we've got Christine Mombo from Namibia, 48. 48. She's now the 6th fastest woman all time in the 400 meters flat, Gregory.
Yes, and that shows you that at least we can have guys sprint. And looking at this race, my hope is to have at least 2 athletes maybe make it to the squad. Look at the times they've posted. You say that right now it's electronically, but not use of hands.
You cannot use hands for anything. That's 400-meter hurdles and below. That is considered. That time will not count anywhere. It will stay in the books, but it won't count anywhere. It will not be factored in at all, and that's why it has to be there. So athletes now getting the call from the starter, and they are ready to take off, taking their positions on the blocks. The next 1 minute and 2 or 3 seconds are going to count a lot for these young girls. 17th to the 22nd of August. You are on Athletics Kenya Facebook Live, giving you the proceedings of the trials for the World Under-20 Championships. This is the Kenyan version. Waiting for the starter. And off they go, and a little stutter from each of the girls. A double step as they take the first bend and move towards the first hurdle. And already in lane 6, we can see Judy Jerutis going well. She's taken an early kick, and quickly covering in the gap in lane 3 is Agnes Mitindi Ngumbe, covering that gap as they go towards the back stretch. The back straight is as they go over the hurdles, and the gaps are closing. Look out for the inner lanes. That's where all the action is. A little bit of a stutter, and again Mitindi Ngombe trying to create some space, moving forward and quickly covering the gap on Sharon Chemgetich, who is running in lane 7. Already there has been one athlete who's made their mark, Chemgetich, as she makes her way in lane 5 as they head to the home stretch. Can Mitindi Ngombe cover this as she stutters? Let's look at the clock. There's still about 8 seconds for them of running remaining as they make towards the finish line. And a little stutter again at the blocks. 63:31, the winning time in lane 6 for Valentine Mokaya.
We talked about Valentine before. She's fastest time, and actually we've seen what she's capable of doing. 1.03, slightly outside qualification mark.
Well, you've got to say not slightly, but 2.2
seconds.
5 seconds.
Yes.
You've got 2.56 seconds outside of the qualification mark. The quick mental math does that, but the first 3, they will be appearing on that, and 63:29, that's what it's been rounded down to. We shall be giving you all the results as they flow through. 63:31, the winning time. The first 3 past the line will be going into the final. Next, we shall be having the second semi-final, and only looks like we've got only 4 athletes on this one, Gregory.
Yes, Sarah Joel from Nyanza South, born on 5th of October 2004, having a personal best time of 2 minutes 19.7 seconds. We have Ida Perek of Nairobi. We have U-20 Nyagen of Nyanza South coming in with a time of 1 minute 2.30 seconds. We have Rebecca Ndotu of Southern coming in with 1.
Well, just a quick look at the results, Gregory. 1:030, that's Valentine Mokaya's time.
Mm-hmm.
Agnes Ngumi, 1:0470. Judy Jeruta, 1:0680. The 3 making it to the final. Rehab Wanjiro, Sheila Cherotich, all will have to wait for the final, for the times from the second heat to know if they make it to the final.
Sharon Jepngetich did not finish. That is Sharon
did not start
from Central. And that is the second semi-final. That is Sarah Joel from Nyanza. Judy, there is Ida Perek of Nairobi, U-20 Nyagena in lane 4, Rebecca Ndotu from Southern in lane 5, Brenda Chebichi of Central Rift in lane 6 with bib number 21.
All right, so we're taking a look at only 4 athletes just by the way they are making their way to the track, as we've got the high jump men's event going on, and already they are warming up. A white flag's being given for that jump, and the men, remember, they've got to do 2.16 meters to qualify. We've got Nixon Sigay, 2:05, the best performer, and 2:02 and 2:03. They've got to rise up to the level of Matthew Sawe, who does 2:20 and above as a consistent performance.
Definitely, and you look at the heights they posted here, I think there's still room for improvement because you look at the kind of preparations they've had coming into these trials and everything they put up to ensure that maybe 1 or 2 qualify to earning that 2.16 mark. That is the minimum qualification time for the high jump men final.
So there we are as we keep watching and following the men's high jump. And also happening afar, we've also have got the discus throw happening. And that's what you can see from that cage, the discus throw also. This is one event where Kenyans are not there. So 1.75 kg is the weight of that discus. The qualifying mark is 49 meters. The best performer when it comes, is 57 meters. The best performer is Nathan B. Watt from Central Rift, 45.29 meters. He still has got about 11.7 meters to go. So there is a lot of work that needs to be done in the throws in Kenya, but with the presence of those people consistently being felt, as we can see them using tape measure. But when it comes to the World Under-20 Championships, electronic distance measurement will be used, where they take a look at that.
Definitely, and have really improved. Looking at on your screens is the high jump currently taking place, and we yet to attain another survey as it stands. Though we'll be giving you the full results as events go by. But meanwhile, the second semi-final of the women 400 meters hurdles that will be taking place in a while. Remember, this is an event that ends on Saturday, a 3-day event that will see Team Kenya being chosen, athletes being chosen to represent the country in next month's World Under-20 Athletics Championships.
So, lane 2, Sarah Joel. Lane 4, Juventina Nyagena. Lane 5, Rebecca Ndotu. Lane 6, Brenda Chebichi Gregory.
They prepare to get off the blocks. Sarah Joel, Ida Perek, Nyagena, Ndotu, and Brenda. And there they go. Quite a slow start, but then taking on Juven Nyangena of Nyanza South, really off the blocks early in the yellow bib, and she's really taking that bend nicely, ensuring that she stays off the pack. But remember, it's all about jumping the hurdles well, and she stayed behind, and in Rebecca Ndotu taking the lead, that is bib number 170. Juven Nyangena dropping off a little bit, but then from in lane 5, coming up very well is Rebecca Ndotu of Southern. Remember her personal best of 66.2, trying to beat that time of 1 minute and 7.007. That is Rebecca Ndotu on the last bend, coming into the 100. Yes, it's Nyangena. She's coming up strongly in lane 4, and she's making sure that she stays off the pack, being followed closely by Rebecca Ndotu. But it's going to be a photo finish? No, because Nyangena takes it home from Nyanza South. 1.04 is the time.
64.04 the time for her, and Rebecca Ndotu closing in on her quite closely. A slower heat than the first. 63.03 was the time in the first heat, which means that we shall be taking a look at those results and see who makes it to the final. Just by the looks of it, looks like heat 1 had a better performance overall compared to heat 2, and that means that Rehab Wanjiru could be making it through, as could be Judy Ruta from heat 1. 64.04 as the timing start falling down. 64.36 the winning time in that heat, 1.05 seconds slower than the first. But remember, at the end of it all, 60.75 is the required qualification mark for you to is the entry standard for the women, the women's 400 meter hurdles. As we wait for those times, yes, from that we can see Nyangena 1:04.40, Rebecca Ndotu 1:04.70, Sarah Joel 1:05.80, Brenda Chebichi 1:07.10. Ida Perek did not start, so that means she by virtue of not starting, Brenda Chebichi, by finishing fourth, 1:07.10, is way below the 1:06s that were posted in heat 1. So the first three in heat 1 and 2 will all be making it through to the final.
Yes, and on your screens is the 400 meters men first semi-final, and the qualification time is 53.10 seconds. That is the 400 meters semi-final one. That is for the men. Patrick Maina from Nairobi, Evan Kipchumba, Peter Kitome. There is Nixon Kipkurui, Norbert Kiprotich, Alan Harlan Anyona of Nyanza, Dennis Kiprotich Chepkwony of South Rift, Nicholas Kipngetich, South Rift, Maxwell Kipchang of Western, Emmanuel Kipkurui Bet.
Well,
yes.
It is true.
Yes.
It is through championships like this that we got the likes of Boniface Musheru Tumuti. And yeah, he got injured, his career put to a close. The late Nicholas Bet, quite a great hurdler. We lost him in 2018. Quite sad. And let's hope that some of the boys who've gone out there, we've seen Alphas and we've seen Mpoke now making it to the Olympics, a product of the under-18 championships. He's going to the Olympics, he did qualify. And we also had David Saruni at the under-18s. So it's a whole progression that is required as the men now get ready for the first semi-final. Patrick Minor, 72.5. That's way off the MAC represent. I think he was withdrawn, and also lane 2. An athlete missing also from lane 2 as they prepare for this. Evan Kipchumba not running in that. Peter Kithome has already attained the qualifying MAC, but he's got to do it and confirm it here. 51.7. That is a second, 1.4 seconds inside the qualifying time. Gideon Kiptanui from South Rift is going to be running in lane 5. 53.9. Well, he is not in this event, so that is a missing athlete. Lane 6, Barak Meshak, 53.1 is his time. Lane 7, we've got Emmanuel Kipkirui, 54.92 his time. So those are the athletes who are going to be running in that event, not in the race. Patrick Maina from Nairobi, Evan Kipchumba from Nyanza South, Gideon Kiptanui from South Rift did not make it, plus also missing from this event was scheduled to land in lane 8, Evans Kipruto.
So far, only 4 athletes are taking part in the first semi-final. As it stands, in lane 7, we'll have Emmanuel Kipkurui of Central Rift. And then we'll have in lane 4, Peter Kitome, who stands to be the favorite in this group, in this heat. And then there is in lane 3, Evan Kipchumba of Nyanza South. As Wahome says, the qualification time is 53.10 seconds. So far, only Peter Kitome of Southern has a time that is inside the qualification time.
Also to note that the height of the hurdles is different. This is not what you get from Abdurrahman Samba, not the height. This is 91 centimeters, slightly lower for this age grade. And
what triggers that?
Well, you've got to look at the general capability that these athletes are considered to be still growing. They have not reached the peak of what would be considered the performance. So that means that they are given that advantage of lower hurdles. So however fast you run, that cannot be considered as a world-class performance. But overall, you've got to look at what the under-20 sport events hold out, especially when it comes to the records and all those things. So here they are, a slight advantage as to the height of the hurdles. But the most important thing here is beating the qualifying standard, and only 2 athletes are allowed to be entered at age grade athletics events. So now they are on the blocks. 4 men. 3 automatically making it to the final, dependent on the number that are in semi-final 2. As the track judges make sure that their fingers are behind the line as they're about to start, waiting for the gun. Off they go, a little bit of a starter coming in from Kipchumba a two-step at the block as they go round, and you can tell the speed, and already you can see the lanky frame of Kithome closing in the gap. Kipchumba, that little stutter at the beginning, changing everything. And now they make their way at the back straight, and Kithome has caught up with everyone, including Kiptanui and Kipchumba as they go round the bend. Kithome, so clear in his technique, looking at all of it, and he's gone over hurdle number 8 and on to the final 2 hurdles. He's created a gap of 10 meters. He still has got enough energy, and we can see in lane 6 and 7 Meshak and Kipkurui trying to cover up, and this is won easily by Peter Kithome. Let's look at the clock. 52.3. He is inside the qualifying mark. He's made it for the World Under-20 Championships, and this is in semi-final heat 1. It is 0.6 of a second slower than the mark he had previously attained, as we saw the other 2 athletes, Kipkurui and Meshak, making it their way past the line. And we saw Evan Kipchumba as the last man passed.
Exactly, and coming into this race, he had posted a time of 51.7 seconds. And this shows you that this is a future star, looking at how he's taken off the field, teared apart everyone else, and ensured that he earned that qualification mark time just before the final. I think the final will just be a formality.
It is always said, meet the mark, deal with everything else later. So far, he's made it to the final. He's got the qualifying time. The question then is, if it's the 1-2 past the line in the final, is he going to be one of them? Waiting for the official results, we can see that on the clock, they have rolled down, and we had 3 did not start in that from the 7 athletes. So only 4 were in contention for a place in the final, in the men's 400-meter hurdle semi-final. As the other athletes, and this is a full schedule. So 52.3 for Peter Kithome, Emmanuel Kipkurui from Central, 54.3, and then we had Barak Meshak, 54.6 from Southern, and Evan Kipchumba of Nyanza, 102.6. Patrick Minor, Gideon Kiptanui, and Evans Kipruto did not start. So 3 in 52.3, 54.3, and 54.6. Those are the times by Kithome, Kipkurui, and Meshak. The next event is going to be a packed one, and just looking at the 102, that was the slowest time in the event, coming in from Evan Kipchumba. Then it simply tells you that there is a lot to fight for. Heat 2 is going to be a major determinant. Gregory.
Patrick Muindi, Southern, coming in at a time of 53.3 seconds. Gilbert Nyamao, Nyanza South. Aloysius Kipngetich, Andrew Togom, Moses Machari of Nairobi, Francis Mumiana of Nairobi, and Isaac Kibet. All of them fighting for that qualification slot, but ultimately beating the 53.10 seconds mark qualification time that has been set for qualifying for the under-20 games.
The closest, Patrick Muindi, is going to be running in lane 1, and this is going to be extremely competitive, considering that he's only got to do 0.2. It's always considered run in the inside, it works for you. As for Isaac Kibet, who's in lane 8, he's got the biggest task. He's got to cut 6.3 seconds from his personal best of 59.6. Francis Mumiana from Nairobi, 61.5, is in lane 7. In lane 6, we've got Moses Machari of Nairobi, 54.5 is his time. And he is warming up on the track, moving up and down. Andrew Togom, taking a look at how he will take off. 4.3 seconds required for him to qualify. Aloysius Kipngetich from Central, Rift, 55.77. And we've got Gilbert Nyamao coming in from Nyanza South. And Nyanza South has got a strong sprint history in the country. The late Robert Ouko. We've got Charles Asati, gold medalist from 1972 at the Olympic Games. Of late, we've seen athletes coming through from that place, like Mary Mora in the 400 meters at the under 18s. That was in 2017. She's now switched codes and she's now running the 800 meters, and she did win her race at the Liège meeting in Belgium at 2:02 time, and she had already met the Olympic qualifying mark going into that. So it's a great opportunity. It was a great opportunity for her to warm up. So lots of great athletes and a great heritage of athletics coming in from Nyanza South. And let's see if it continues now
actually,
with Yamau.
When you talk about Nyanza South, there's Lois Moran from Nyanza South who won the first heat of the 200 meters women in the morning. She said that she's looking up to Mary Mora, and actually she did win, and we might be seeing her progress into the latter stages of this 200 meters women.
That was one of the things, sprint picking up slowly and surely in the country. Already we have got 10:02, 10:03 runners in the country in the form of Marco Tieno and Ferdinand Omanyala. So the athletes now, they move on to their blocks, waiting for the call to be made for them to move to the blocks. This is going to be the second heat of the men's 400-meter hurdles semi-final. We've had a world champion in the form of Nicholas Betts. We've had a silver medalist at age grade level in the form of Boniface Musheru Tumuti. The question is, can this heritage continue? Gregory, this race is won. This one race is yours.
Thank you very much, Wahome. As we get ready, the 8 athletes each trying to get that qualification time of 53.10 seconds. And there we go, getting ready to get off the blocks. The 400 meters semi-final 2 for men. A concern raised ready from lane 6. That is Moses Macharia from Nairobi. His blocks not well placed. I think he needed to adjust them. He's doing so, just to be comfortable before takeoff. That is Moses Macharia. Personal best time of 54.5 seconds. The athletes getting ready. The 400 meters men's second semi-final. The starters ensuring that everyone is okay. And there we go, the 400 meters second semi-final. That taking on nicely from lane 5 is Andrew Togom of Central, coming in very well and facing stiff competition from Gilbert Nyamaus, Nyanza South in lane number 3. But then look at how they're taking the last bend there. In lane number 8, Isaac Kibet of North Rift also trying very hard to ensure that they get the qualification time of 53.10 seconds, taking it to the last bend. That is the 8th hurdle, heading into the 100 meters mark. From lane 5, that is Andrew Togom of Central, really trying hard. But then in lane 8, we have Isaac Kibet of North Rift trying hard. We never anticipated for this, but he's coming in. But then taking it home. Aloysius Kipngetich of Central Rift, 53.15 is the time. He's actually improved on his personal best of 55.07.
Well, quite a great time posted by him. And also interesting to note that Francis Mumiana from Nairobi finishing in second place, which means that, and also Patrick Mwindi, he was taking it easy, 53.3. He had to push in that final, 50 meters or so to get into third place. We shall be taking a look at the confirmed results. 53 point, an improvement of a personal best and getting closer to that qualification mark. Always important. 53.32 the winning time, and that was for the second semi-final in the men's 400-meter hurdles. And remember that the first three from the first heat automatically qualifying, and we're going to have another three qualifying from the second heat. And also we've got Charity Wanja, who is trackside. She is going to be doing the trackside interviews for us, as waiting for the confirmation of the times that have been posted by these athletes. All coming through before we get the final decision on who is going to be running in the finals. Just a day's rest, which means that Saturday is going to be business unusual. Kenyan trials are known not to have any consideration for the stature you may have, be it at under 20 level, under 18 level, or at senior level. It really doesn't count. So still waiting for the confirmation, the official results, but we know 53.82 was that winning time, as there is a second run through the electronic timing board. It was a fully packed race with 8 athletes on the track, which means that at least 3 of them will suffer the ignominy of that. As we take a men as they go through their paces at the high, in the high jump. Bit by bit. And the height adjusted, as we saw one athlete who was red flagged.
The high jump, 7 entries. Nixon Kipkurui Sigei of Central Rift, Norbert Kiprotich North Rift, Alan Anyona of Nyanza South, Dennis Kiprotich Chepkwony of South Rift, Nicholas Kipngeny of South Rift, Maxwell Kipchang of Western, and Emmanuel Kipkurui Bet. The qualification mark, 2.16 meters. As we said, none has attained that. But we hope that at the end of the day, we'll have some of these great athletes at least try get the minimum qualification mark, that is 2.16 meters, before seeking maybe for, let's say, a national record or something, because it's possible. We've seen improvements in the past from the field events of our athletes. We talked about Sawe, and now the YouTube man, that is Julius Yego.
And the men you can see walking towards are the track judges. They are headed for the start of the women's 3,000 meters. Wow. This 2 semifinals, 24 athletes in total, 909.20. Always reminds me of Lilian Kasai Rengeruk, who made it to do the women's 5,000 meters 7 years ago. When she took a silver in Eugene, Oregon. So there is a huge history in the 3,000 meters women as far as this country is concerned.
A field of 12 in the first semi-final, Teresia Mudoni of Central, Grace Lobiach of Central Rift, Naomi Jepto, Central Rift, Sheila Chipkurui of Coast, Daisy Chepkorir of Nairobi, Brenda Kiplagat of North Rift, Zena Jemutai of North Rift, Jane Gatti of Nyanza South, Deborah Naiserian, South Rift, Iska Chelangat, South Rift, Anne Mwongeli of Southern, and Irene James, who comes from Southern. She's representing Southern and also seeking a qualification time set for the World Under-20 Championships that will be held right here in August.
Well, the whole story here is, forget about the qualification mark. That has been attained. The question is, which two will make it through to the final on Saturday? That's a question that everyone's asking.
It will be tough because you look at this field is a field rich of talent. All these athletes have attained the qualification time, but now what remains is who's going to take the first two positions and then represent the country in the World Under-20 Championships. That will be happening here at the Blue Tartan in Kasarani, Nairobi.
So the athletes now, having gone through the paces, now march forward after the identification parades. It is time for the start of it's 3,000 meters flat. At this level of competition, the steeplechase still a short event. And remember, it's only the men who do the full distance of the steeplechase. But this is the 3,000 meters. Still lots of event to follow today. We also have got, the 400 meters, we've got the 100 meters, we've got the women's 800 meters, the 1,500 meters for the women and the men. So lots of speed happening on the Kasarani track. So the athletes running in this fast heat, Teresia Modoni from Central Rift. From Central. Grace Loibach from Central Rift. Naomi Jeptor, Central Rift. Sheila Chepkurui from Coast. And there goes the gun for the start of this event. 7.5 laps on this Kasarani track. And already 2 back markers as the rest of the pack is huddled together. Just about 39 seconds for the first 200 meters. And that is a split for that lap. Already a single file is forming as they go around the cage that's being used for the discus.
People confuse the 3,000 meters for the 3,000 meter steeplechase.
It's a Kenyan thing. We all know about the 3,000 meter steeplechase. And at the moment, it's Teresia Mudhoni from Central who's at the front as they do 400 meters in just about 1 minute 15. The 3,000 meter steeplechase is synonymous with Kenya. Kenya having to collect the medals. I think you need to count ever since Kipchoge came won in 1972, with the exception of 76 and 1976 and 1980 when Kenya boycotted the Olympics. Those medals have been backed. So by Kenyans, and it's every count that comes and everyone knows what goes on. On to single file. 148 at 600 meters. There's still another 1,400 meters to go.
It's quite fast as you can see.
No, actually 2,400, sorry.
2,400
yeah,
meters
2,400 meters to go.
Right now it's 2,200 meters to go. The athletes really trailing hard, but right now you can see the field being separated. As you said, 5,000 meters above sea level, really taking toll on some of these
5,000 feet actually. Well, 5,000 above sea level would be Mount Kenya.
We're almost there in Mount Kenya.
1,800? 1,600 and some little bit of change. still we have got Teresia Mudhoni from Central, and that leading pack has come down to 5. And as they make their way towards the front, and Iska Chelangat, the little girl, is now in 3rd place. She was at 1.7 as the speed increases. How much of a change are we going to see in the way that these athletes have set themselves up? Teresia Mudhoni looking more like a rabbit as they go into that back straight. They will have done now about 1,200 meters as they get to that point. The 1,200 meter split, 3 minutes 35.
Mudhoni really pushing her to ensure that she stays in the front. It waits to be seen if she can maintain the same pace towards the 1,500 meter mark.
As the focus now shifts to, you can see the back markers, and as they make their way to the line. It's down to 5, still holding on to that lead. It's all about holding on to that pace. She was right at the front when the race started, took off right at the gun. She's not let go of her lead as the clock continues to kick, and there is a gap of about 80 meters between the leading pack and the two from Southern, Mungeli and Irene, who are now trailing. As that leading pack now, one more athlete has been dropped from that leading pack as they now hit lap 5. It's coming down to 4. And there is about a 10-meter gap that's been created. It's now down to these 4. From the 12 athletes, they'll need another 12, which means the first 5 pass the line and the others based on time. As they make their way past that mark, they are yet to hit the bell. Well, 5:25 at that point. Still with the gate with which they started their pace with. And already the little girl, Iska Chelagat, has picked up the pace, has now moved into 2nd place. And another athlete has been dropped in the scorching 20 minutes to noon heat in Nairobi. We are at altitude. It can get hot. It's considered to be the colder month, but it's been the warmest day I've got in Nairobi for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, during the Olympic trials, it was really, really, really cold here. You could see athletes freezing, so many having those muscle cramps. But right now, things look better, and it seems that we shall be having this kind of weather for the rest of the days during these national trials for the World Under-20 Championships. But Teresia Mudhoni is still leading the pack, making sure that she stays in front. And looking at how it is right now, it's like she's going to be finishing among the first 2 positions, looking at how she's taking control of this race, making sure that she's not beaten by anyone. She stays in front. You said she's a rabbit. She looks like the horse right now.
Well, at the moment, it's Zena Jemutai and Teresia Mudhoni who are leading that race. There's still just about, 2 minutes of running to go as they go around that corner. And it's quite clear that it's down to 2 ladies. Iska Chelagat, who tried to make a surge forward, has been dropped. There's a 20-meter gap between her and Zena and Teresia Mudhoni and Jemutai from North Rift, who are there. 9:28, the time that Zena Jemutai came into this event. Teresia Mudhoni, the fastest on paper, 9:09. Going as they almost make it towards the penultimate lap. And there is a 15-meter gap as The bell now goes. How fast can they run? Teresia Muthoni, having led from the start, she's right at the front. It's the final 400, let's say 350 odd meters, quite clear. And Zena Chemutai is in second place. Teresia Muthoni holding on to her lead as she makes that final bend. It's a final 300 meters. Picks up the pace. She's running with some very interesting gait, with her elbows held out, quite low. We haven't seen her lift her shoulders, but she's there. And she is picking up that gap as she heads into the final 200 meters, and that gap is growing. 8:20 on the clock. The question is, how fast can she run? We saw world leading time set by Beatrice Chebet. It's into the final 150 meters. Already looks like there's some athletes who could be lapped by Muthoni as she makes her way forward. This is going to be quite fast. Look out for the clock. Are we looking at a 9-minute run in this first heat of the women's 3,000 meters semi-final? She makes her way, cuts inside, 52, 53, and she breaches the 9-minute mark, 8:56.29.
Amazing stuff. 8:56. Improving on our time of 9:09 coming into this race. That is Teresa Muthoni. Zena coming in second. Zena Chemutai coming in second. 9:12. I will be confirming that. But then you look at Teresa Muthoni. She led from the start to the finish, ensuring that she got that 8-minute mark, 8.5629. That is the mark she's got. She's already qualified for the championships that will be happening here in Nairobi in under a month's time. And there she goes.
Anasemaje? I mean,
meanwhile, you await for the results and the confirmation of the times by these athletes. Teresia Muthoni, meanwhile, winning that first semi-final of the women 3,000 meters. The second semi-final will be happening in a while after this. And we have Deborah Chemutai of Central Rift, Marion Chepngetich, Sharon Chelangat of Coast, and Naiperea of Nairobi, Joylin Chepkemoi. And just before we continue, Charity is speaking to
I pray God for the final.
Teresa Muthoni.
Because today nilianguka na kufunga hiyo kaba iko rahisi. So on Saturday I pray God nipe nguvu nikiweza kumaliza vizuri, nashukuru.
Sasa ukirudi kwa mazoezi ni nini utafanya sana sana? What are you going to sharpen on?
Sijajua, but ni choki. Ni reduce your spikes and then ningoje kesho kutwa.
Thank you so much. That is Lena Chemutai. She has finished second. We are waiting for the first finisher, Terry Chebet.
Zena Chemutai says she's going to relax today and then wait for Saturday. I think she knows what to do heading into the finals.
Just to put it into context, the world under-20 championship record for the women's 3,000 meters was set in Bydgoszcz in 2016 by Beyenu Degefa, 8:41.76. Now, 8:56 in Nairobi is fast by any standards.
Very fast. And looking at the conditions in Nairobi and the conditions in 2016, as that is the second heat, the second semi-final of the women 3,000 meters, whereby we have Deborah Jemutai, Marion Jepngetich, Sharon Chelangat, and Naiperia, Joylin Chepkemoi, Maureen Jepkoech, Sharon Chepchumba, Naomi Chepkorir, Faith Mwendwa, and Naomi Chepkemoi of Western. This is also a competitive field.
Well, just a quick look and simple use of the eyes and the pictures that I am watching. This looks like a quicker start to the fast heat. 39 seconds for the first, 37, 2 seconds faster for the 200 meters. Still all huddled together. The question is, at what point do they break?
Exactly, and the first semi-final we witnessed at a start time of the first lap had 43 seconds. So this one is quite fast, and I think they've known the results from the other semi-final, and each would want to be part of the final that will be happening here on Saturday.
All eyes on this field because we've got Marion Jepngetich, who's got a time of 9:08.4. We also have got Faith Chebet, 9:23.27, and Naomi Chepkorir, 9:24.4. The pace in this race, it looks bliss from the start. As they head to the 600-meter mark, you would have the feel that this is probably a 1,500-meter race that is just a beginning to warm up. That's where these athletes are as they go through 600 meters. 1 minute 48 on the clock. And slowly that single file is forming, and you can tell those who really want it. And we already have an early leader. Jepngetich holding on, pulling up the pace with her arms, just going across her chest, so close, almost like a poorly held boxing defensive guard. She's got a 5-meter gap from anyone who's trailing her, and she's just picking up pace. I mentioned it's got the feel of a 1,500-meter race as they go around that bend. Mm-hmm. How long they sustain this is going to be interesting.
Marion Jepngetich of North Rift with a personal best of 9.084, leading the pack at the moment as we head into the second lap of the women 3,000 meters semi-final number 2. Remember, we've had the first semi-final with Teresa Mudhoni winning that. But right now we have number 2 being led by Marion Jepngetich of Central Rift. Really strong coming into the third lap right now. They're headed into the third lap. But she looks really strong, tearing away from the pack and making sure that she stays away. The question is, will she maintain this? Because it's quite, we still have a few laps to go.
Well, the lap count at the moment really does count, but Marion Jepngetich has really upped the pace. Anyone trying to keep up with her would literally have to sprint. We've seen this kind of running previously with Alma Zayana, where she would simply move forward and pace the race at her own discretion. And if she catches you offside, if you don't get how she does it, looking for the midway point where she does pull off one burst, and if you're caught, that's it for you.
Was that in Rio 2016?
Everywhere she did run. Rio 2016, I remember when she did one of her first races, is that she just kept running and running until everyone had finished. And she had won the race, but still had the energy to do so. It's a running tactic where you front run and hold on, let everyone else do the chasing.
Yes, so, and we saw Joyce Teresa Mudhoni do that in the first semi-final, leading from start to finish. And right now, we have Marion Jepngetich also doing the same. She's far way ahead of the rest of the pack. Right now, she's stretching into a 40-meter lead over the second lot, and it seems that she's not tiring.
That spread that she has created is so huge. as compared to everyone else who's there. And the eyes are now 100% on her. That gap is growing with every stride that she takes. And you've got three who are huddled together. And you can see from the picture that not a single face in the horizon. All alone as she is on the home stretch. Still about another 3 or so laps to go in this event. And she already has a gap of close to 50 meters. Everyone else has got to play catch up. They've got to switch gears, or, like they would say, if you were to operate a manual car, go down a gear and pick up the pace and catch up with her. But at the moment, she's on overdrive. The rest of the pack have decided, let's just hold on and stay here. This is a moment for Jeb Ngetich
and she's
to
running
shine.
like she's in a final. You look at how she's just strong, making sure that she doesn't blink. Heading into the 1500 meter mark halfway, and now you can see she's slowing a little bit because she knows that she's way ahead of the rest of the pack. Looking at the distance, slightly around 50 meters from the second pack of athletes.
That gap is growing. You can tell that the rest of the athletes, they may have burnt out, going by the pace that Jeb Ngetich set them, as she is now headed into the home stretch. That gap is growing, and the entire field is in a single file. It's all about running against the clock as she heads into the penultimate lap. 800 meters to go, and she has created that gap. It's now over 70 meters. The question now is who will take second and third places. We know the four athletes who are there all huddled together, just looking at her. And she's closing that gap, and the back marker looks like Faith from Southern is treading on slowly. And just looking at her tempo, the cadence that she's got is way off what Jeb Ngetich has got. Jeb Ngetich, she is from Central Rift. 908.4 is our previous personal best. She has set such a pace that anyone trying to catch up with her at the moment would have to do a full sprint. She is headed, and at the end of this lap, she's going to be getting the bell. And still, only one athlete has got 2 laps to go. It looks like she's going to get lapped. This is going to be interesting, considering that she's doing about 65 a lap. How fast can she run? She still has got that lot of energy. And steadily, she has caught up with the back marker, and she hears the bell. 7:47. Yeah, not the Boeing, not the aircraft. As she gets into the final 400 meters, the rest of the field has got to do a huge sprint. She holds on to that pace. She's created a gap. It's about 80 meters now, heading into the back stretch. How fast can she run? We saw 8:56 in the first one. This could be a little bit faster, probably just about 5 seconds off the under-20 championship record. But on this stadium, this is pretty fast. Headed on to the back stretch. She has gone clear. There's still one athlete in front of her who's yet to do the final lap. And just by the looks of everything, that athlete could also get lapped. Into the final 200 meters, still upright. The gate is there. She's picking up her pace. Looks like this is going to be a sprint for the line. She's all alone. She knows that the time is so important. Anything under 9 minutes for these athletes is going to be beautiful. And she makes her final dash for the line. 8:46. Let's take a look at this clock. We had 8:56 in the first from Naomi Modoni, and she has slowed down deceptively, but she's still going to break the 9-minute barrier. 8:59.02 for Marion Jeb Ngetich.
Very good finish from Marion Jeb Ngetich, whom you can see she's jogging. Takes to challenge Mudhoni in the final that will be happening here on Saturday.
Maureen Jepkoech taking second place, with Faith Chebet of South Rift taking the third. 0:42. That is Deborah Chemutai.
Deborah Chemutai, yes.
Finished in third place, and finishing in fourth place is Naomi Chepkorir, and as we also see in fifth place, Joylyn Chepkemoi. Those athletes having secured their places in Saturday's final. Gregory, you're going to have a lot of fun here, I can tell.
A lot of fun, especially in the coming in the coming races. Right now, the 400 women hit one will be coming up after a short while. But right now, we head over to Charity on the other side to speak to Marion Jepngetich, the winner of semi-final number 2, 3,000 meters women. As we await for the official results of the second semi-final 3,000 meters women, you said there's plenty of fun here. You've seen the times posted. For me, I think Marion Jepngetich would have pushed further if there was someone on her heels.
Every indication was that she had the race going for her. Every indication was that she had the race going for her. It just didn't happen, but as we see from our commentary position, looks like the times are being consolidated. But 8:58, you got to accept, is quite fast. And from our pictures, what you can see are the women preparing for the hits of the 400 meters. These are the hits, not even the semi-finals. These are the hits, and there are going to be 4 hits overall in this women's event. 54.85 seconds is a qualifying standard for the women's 400 meters.
The 400 meters women hit one. In lane 8, Estandalu from Coast. Lane 7, supposed to be Mercy Chebet from South Rift. She will not be participating. In lane 6, there is Lucy Njeri of Nairobi. Lane 5, Jane Aoko of Nyanza North. Lane 4, there is Linda Kageha of Nyanza South. Nancy Wangeshi of Central in lane 3. And Nasibai Regina of Western in lane number 2. The 400 women hit one. Qualification time, 54.85. Over to you, Charity. I think she's gotten hold of Marion Jepngetich, winner of 3,000 women semi-final number 2.
Congratulations, umeweza kumaliza ukiwa wa kwanza kwa hii hit ya pili. Niambie, race iko vipi kwako? Strategy ilikuwa ni gani ulikuwa unatumia? Na sasa nini ilikufanya ukataka kwanza kukimbia? Ati? Talent. Sai uko na miaka ngapi na unasomea wapi? Ukirudi mazoezi ni nini utataka kuangalia sana sana kwa mazoezi urekebishe? Pardon? Haya, asanti sana. All the best, tukutane kwa finals.
And we are ready for the 400 meters women hit one. Lane number 8. There we go. 400 meters women hit one. Lucy Njeri of Nairobi taking off very well in lane number 6. She's really taken off very well and closing by Jane Aoko of Nyanza North in lane number 5 into the second last bend.
1, 2, 3, 4.
But then Esther Ndalu, of course, doesn't want to be left behind in lane number 8,
1, 2, 3,
number
4.
2. Nyanza South
1, 2,
with
3,
Linda
4.
Kageha coming in very strongly in lane number 4. She's the one making sure that she stays in front. Lane number 4, Linda Kageha coming in. What will be the time? Because it is 54.85, the qualification time. 56.30 is the time she's posted. Linda Kageha of Nyanza South taking home the women hit one of the 400 meters. Just a few seconds short of the 54.85 qualification time that has been placed. Linda Kageha of Nyanza South winning the first heat of the women 400 meters. Remember, it's the hits. We're not yet to this the other rounds. There's hit 2 also, having 7 athletes. That is Louis Mora from Nyanza South, Maureen Ochieng. But then
there's a young guy from the US. We were supposed
over
to
to you
compete
because we
he
can
came for these
see
trials. Can you assist if it is possible?
You are ready with
problem is leading now. He's now leading.
Thank you.
It's going to be a sprint finish here. Damaris Mutunga from Southern coming in strongly. And Mbata also coming in. 55.81. 55.81 is the time posted by Ann Mbata of North Rift, winning the second women 400 meters heat. So it's been a very tight race here, and Ann Mbata just showing her class, ensuring that she gets that qualification time for this semi-final that will be taking place tomorrow. But looking at this kind of performances, Wahome, it's really impressive to see the sprints. But you have some good news about the times posted here in the 3,000 meters women.
8:56.13. Now, 8:56.13 is a new world lead in the women's 3,000 meters as the under-20 level. The previous one was set at the Konosu Athletic Stadium on the 28th of March, 2021 by Judy Jepngetich. 8:59.53. 8:56.13 is a new world lead. And 55.81, the time that has been clocked in this second hit, is just about a second off the entry standard. And Bada 55.8, Lois Moran 57 flat, Damaris Mutunga 57.5, So those are the top 3 athletes headed to the semifinals tomorrow. Knowing that we've got 8 heats, so they will need 12 athletes for the 3 semifinal heats. It's going to get interesting. As Peter Stella, 1 minute, 1.1 second. Pauline Nanjala, 65.9, and Lynette Puthoni, that. So we move on to heat 3. And the women already taking their places at the starting blocks. We are going to have 7 of them at this point. In lane 1, we're going to have Mercy Okech. Lane 2, we're going to have Perina Togo of Sudan. Lane 4, just looking at that arrangement.
Again here by the
Lane
women's
5, not having anyone.
400 semi-finalists.
Elizabeth Katievi not
And
making
Mbata,
her way here.
Mbata,
Gladys
karibu.
Mumbe of Southern is also
Race imekuwa
there.
vipi kwako?
Lane 7, we've got Shamila Valerie, and Purity Riziki, of course, is running in lane 8.
Yes, and Charity Wanja speaking to Ann Bata. Charity, over to you.
Okay. Na unasomea wapi na uko na miaka ngapi?
Nasomea Title Girls, National School, in West Pokot, and I'm 18 years old.
Uko form?
Form 3.
Form 3.
I'm heading to form 4 next month.
Okay, na sahi ukirudi perhaps unataka kuwako nini na ni nani alikufanya ukataka kupenda kuingia kwa sprints?
First of all, I want to say it's my mom and support. Then akanitafutia camp inaitwa Ndura. My coach is Philip Ndura. And then nikaamua ning'ang'ane. But most of the time niko shule, I create my own time to go and train so that I can come and win.
Thank you so much.
As we get ready for heat number 3, the 400 meters women. In lane number 8, Purity Riziki from Coast, Shamila Valerie of Nyanza North. In lane number 7, Gladys Mumbe from Southern. Lane number 6, Elizabeth Katavei, North Rift. Lane number 5. Lane number 4, Nelly Jepchirchir, Central Rift. Perina John Claudio Togo of Sudan in lane number 3. That's bib number 502. And then Mercy Okech, lane number 2, Nyanza South.
So on to the blocks they go, and waiting for the start of this event. All athletes legally on their blocks. And off they go, round the first bend. And in lane 3, simply by looking at the arm movement, we've got Nelly Jepchirchir, who's gaining ground. She took off quite fast, but did not hold on, but it is in lane 4. We've got, yes, Nelly Jepchirchir, who's moved forward. Just looking at her arm movement, it's the best in the field, as all the others have been left behind. And she's taken a lead going into the home stretch. What can she clock here? She's got a strong lead, and the arms already moving. And to her outside, she has got Verena John. Can she hold on? Jepchirchir trying to keep her arms and wave them through and sail through. This is going to be a win for her. 55.89. Just another second outside of the qualifying time. And Perina John was in lane 2, taking second place. Third place going to lane 6. Runner Gladys Mumbe from Southern. Waiting for the official confirmation of that time, as all athletes now being directed and being called now for the interviews. Charity is track side. We expect her to be speaking with our winner, Nelly Jepchirchir, She made a convincing run. Nobody just could catch up with her. She had that Perina John with a late surge, but did not catch up with her. That was the women's heat 3 in the 400 meters. We're also going to have the men running also. And Gladys Mumbe doing a little bit of some of those hands as the COVID-19 protocols being implemented here. Anyone who's at this event has had their coronavirus test taken, and the equipment that's being used has got to be sanitized after every use. That is the standard that is there. So just a look at the scoreboard says, yes, some activity there, that those results from Heat 3 are going to be announced. So, Perina John Togo, 55.9, Masio Ketch, 57.0, Gladys Mumbe. Looks like there was a whole switch of lane results here, because from what I have as a start list.
Actually, it's Togo who should be number 2.
Yes.
Yes, and she's from Sudan.
And she's from Sudan. That's where it stands.
But something interesting is how the foreign athletes coming into the country to try see qualification times. We've seen one Ugandan athlete in the morning attaining qualification time in the 200 meters, and it's something that we saw even during the Olympic trial 2 weeks ago.
Well, there you've had it. Quite interesting now as well. From what I see on the track and from what I have now, we have a whole different setup. Looks like we're moving on to the men. No women Heat 4. So, on to the men's 400-meter Heat 1. 47.35 is the qualifying time. Elkana Kiprotich is in lane, let me start with lane 8, Eli Kibet of Western. Lane 7, Ali Lekuroho from Central. Lane 6, Edwin Omondi from Nairobi. Lane 5, Calvin Mwendwa from South. Lane 4, Mustada Misiko from North, rather Mustada Muse. Lane 3, Hilary Misiko from North. Dismas Mwalimu from Kiprotich from Nyanza is in lane 1. 47.35 is the qualifying time.
One hand up from lane number 6. That is Edwin Omondi. From Nairobi. Sometimes the blocks can be tough to use if you're not used to. Edwin Omondi on lane 6. We have Hilary Misiku, lane number 3. Dismas Mwalimu from Coast, lane number 2. Elkana Kiprotich, lane number 1. Ali Laban Lekuro, lane number 7. And Eli Kibet from Western in lane number 8. And there we go. That's the takeoff. Very fast from lane number 1. That is Elkana Kiprotich of Nyanza South. Really doing hard. Dismas Mwalimu slightly falling behind, but then look at the man to watch. Elkana Kiprotich really coming off the blocks fast and ensuring that he beats the first 2 athletes that is in lane 2 and lane 3. Look at Kiprotich taking the bend very sharply, ensuring that he's doing what he does best. Coming off, that is Elkanah Kiprotich, way ahead of the rest of the pack. And we'll be looking at the time he'll post here. Remember, he comes here with 49.60, but what does he post here? 47.31.
And he is inside the qualifying time that is required for the World Under-20 Championships. 47.35. 47.31 is his time. He is legitimately through by the qualifying standard.
And actually, he's now posted his personal best, having posted that 47.31. Very fast indeed from Elkanah Kiprotich of Nyanza South, born on 29th November 2002. Is one of the athletes to watch. Already made it to actually he's made the cut as it stands because he's already beaten the qualification time.
Well, quite a run from him, and running inside lane 1. He's got the advantage of the slower bends, but I would like to see how he performs when it gets to the semifinals. He has met that time, 47.31. And just going by that, I would say he can compete against the seniors at the moment. A strong run from him and obliterating the entire field as he made his way to the win in that first hit.
Exactly, and you look at how he took on the rest of the pitch from the onset. We all knew that there was something special inside Elkanah Kiprotich from Nyanza South, who's won hit 1 of the 400 meters men that is happening here at Kasarani Stadium. Remember, this is the venue that will host the World Under-20 Championship. That is the World Under-20 Championships. And it's the second time we are hosting a global event right here in Kenya, Wahome.
Actually, a third time. I've got to say there's the World Cross Country Championships from 2007 and the World Under-18 in 2017, and now the World Under-20 Championships delayed by a year, and this was due to the coronavirus pandemic.
Yes, it's Nairobi hosting the second global event, but then Mombasa hosted the cross-country event in 2007. Getting ready for hit number 2 of the 400 meters. Gilbert Nyamao of Nyanza South, Francis Mbaya from Coast. Gilbert Nyamao is in lane number 1, Francis Mbaya in lane number 2. Senkari Emery in lane number 3, Sylvester Mututwa from Central in lane number 4, George Odunga from Western in lane number 5, Francis Kimeu, Southern, lane number 6, Nur Osman, Northeastern, lane number 7, and then Joshua Ndombi of North Rift will be in lane number 8. As it stands, it's Francis Mbaya of Coast who will not be starting this race. That is in lane number 2, but the rest of the athletes have taken positions in their lanes.
And looking at the times that have been clocked here, 47.31 would mean that Kennedy Kimeu, who clocked 47.13, is still behind. It would still place him inside the top 75 in the world at the moment.
That's quite impressive looking at.
Well, Nairobi always has got its stories, but that altitude at times can be considered to be an extra thing, not always counts. We have seen athletes run crazy times. 1:43 in the 800 meters is becoming normal. 45 is standard. So, hit 2 of the men's 400 meters. In lane 8, we have got Joshua Dombi from North Rift. He's got a 47.3 inside the qualifying time. Nur Osman from North Rift. Francis Kimeu, the fastest so far, 47.13. We've got George Odunga, not to be confused with the judge. Sylvester Mutumu St. Caire Marine, Francis Bayer. Francis Bayer is not running in this event. Supposed to be representing Coast, and Gilbert Nyamao in lane 1. Waiting for the starter's gun. And off they go. No false start here. Coming in from these athletes. And already taking round the bend. Outside is Joshua Dombi from North Rift. He's running in lane 8. It's not always the most favorable. But inside of him, we've got the athletes Odunga, Kimeu, and Mutumu who are closing in that gap. And already looks like Kimeu is moving forward, gaining some space as they head into that final bend towards the home stretch. And we can see that Nur Osman is being left behind. And on behind as they get into the home stretch. This is starting out to be a quick fire one. And in lane 8 and lane 6, those are the two athletes to look out for. Kimeu, that gap has been closed, and in lane 1, Gilbert Nyamao closing in. But eventually, this one has been taken by Joshua Dombi, 47.35. Bang on the qualification mark.
Bang on the qualification mark of 47.35. That is Joshua Ndombi of North Rift. Coming in second is Gilbert Nyamao of Nyanza South, but this has been fast because you could see all the athletes trying so hard to make sure that they get that qualification, to attain that qualification mark. But it just shows you that there's quality in this sprint, in the sprints. At least we have hope that maybe these athletes, when it comes, or when they come of age, they'll be some of the few stars to watch in the global scene. The 400 meters men hit number 2, won by Joseph Ndombi of North Rift at a time of 47.35, slightly 0.05 seconds off his personal best of 47.30.
Well, like they would say in Kenyan speak, well, the personal best right here is not important. The qualification mark
more important.
Is important.
As we get ready for hit number 3.
Actually, yes. Hit number 3, and lanes 2 and 3 will not have at least Alan Kipiego and Samuel Toili from North Rift not making it to this point. So in lane number 8, we're going to have Joel Kipngetich of Nairobi. In lane 7, Edwin Kipiego of South Rift. Lane 6, we've got Isaiah Wanche of Coast. Lane 5, we have got Joshua Kipleting of Central Rift. Lane 4, well, Samuel Toil is there. And lane 3 had not been allocated. Lane 2, Alan Kipiego missing. And Kennedy Kimeu is in lane 1. And looking at the times from these athletes, all outside of the qualifying standard, 47.35. But like Abbas Korir mentioned, is that as a host nation, they've got that. Joshua Dombi, 47.4. That's the official time. Gilbert Nyamao, 48.1. So outside of the qualifying, 47.35, or may just have been rounded off. So those are the marks that have been set by these athletes in Heat 2. So Heat 3, still having a feel of the blocks and how they do take off. And others in the holding area. And after that, we're going to have the women's 1,500 meters. So all athletes moving on to their respective positions. Remember, anything 400 meters downwards, electronic timing must count. How they perform is so important for them. This has always been a platform for these athletes to shine. Alphas Kisho Yan, good example. Gone on to represent the country at senior level. As all athletes do acknowledge that. And Gregory, I have to say, the organizers were behind schedule at, just about 40 minutes ago, but right now they've caught up, and how would I say, the start is just, a minute and a half behind schedule, which means that they've got to operate this way. This is how the World Under-20 Championships will operate. And off they go, and Kimeo sleeps at the blocks. So he's got a lot of work to do, and it wasn't locked in quite well, which means that he's lost the momentum quite early. And already we can see that we've got Kipleting, who's filling up the gap as Kimeo works so hard in lane 1, trying to close on that gap.
He's really come up quickly.
As we see, he's getting past Wanche as they get round that bend. So it's some hard work coming in from him after the slip at the starting block. And he's closed the gap. He's so close to them. This is a show of grit coming in from Kennedy Kimeo. He's heading into the home straight. Does he have the energy to close it? And right now, this is going to be a hypotenuse as it gets that. And in lane 7, 47.96, Edwin Kipiego. Well, you've got to give it to Kennedy Kimeo after that slip that he did so well. And Joshua Kipleting finishing in 3rd place. And he simply looked like he was running backwards in the final 30 meters.
Exactly, and Kimeu just showing that he has what it takes to make it to the final. Looking at how he started, he didn't start very, very well, slipped on the blocks, started slowly, but then on the last bend, he showed that he was capable of catching up with the rest of the pack and actually finishing 2nd. But they are still outside the qualification time, but then it's still the heat. Still have a long way to go. Those who made it to the next round can actually try and improve on their times to attain that qualification time.
I would be interested in seeing Kimeo running tomorrow and also look at his technique of setting up the block because it worked against him. He slipped, but the moment he took off, he did not waste any time catching up and closing that gap, which means outright he was the race favorite. Just looking at his form, and his recovery will be so important because sprinters have got a very short recovery time. That is known. It's not a secret. They can do the 400 meters in the morning and do a relay in the afternoon. That's according to, to the coaches who've worked with sprinters. Your turnaround time is so important. And how he works around it, but it also tells a lot. Have they set and locked their blocks properly? You getting your foot caught up in the block is not something that you'd like as a sprinter. That 1 second taken on the block is a difference, between you and a medal. That's how close it can be. And the shorter the race, the more, the heavier it gets for you. So the athletes in heat 4, Evans Kipngeno in lane 1. In lane 2, we've got Hilary Kiplangat, he's from South Rift. In lane 4, we've got Nikonelius Kioko of Southern. In lane 5, we've got Marcel Hannington Awori. Well, he's named after HHO from Nairobi. In lane 6, we've got Samuel Kibet. Those are the 5 athletes who will be running in this 4th and final heat of the men's 400 meters.
Yes, absentees in lane 7 and 8. That is Evans Ruto of North Rift and Justin Maio of Nairobi missing out. That means that we'll have 6 athletes battling out for the top 2 positions to make it to the next round of the 400 meters men. Remember, this is heat number 4. Afterwards, we have the women semi-final number 1 of the 1500 meters where we have 13 entries. We hope to see all of them lining up for this race. The 400 meters men, hit number 4. Evans Kipngeno, hit number 1. Hilary Kiplangat from South Rift, hit number 2. Pascal Wilson from Coast, he's number 3. Lane number 3 rather. Nicolenius Kioko from Southern, Awori, Hannington, Nairobi, and Samuel Kibet of Central Rift. Remember, the first 2 qualify for the next round of the 400 meters.
So 47.35. Just one athlete has managed that, a 47.31. as we see the athletes and a cheer just below the commentary position. Well, also in the men's high jump, the best performance being 2.04 by CD Cliff, and will be included. So the athletes now getting onto their blocks. It will be interesting to watch how they react to this. We saw one get up in the trailing leg. It looks like one athlete is not set and has got to get assistance in placing their blocks in the correct starting positions. The comfort of an athlete, the moment they get onto that squatting position. All blocks now in the right place. Heat 4, Marcel Awori is in lane 5, lane 6. Samuel Kibet. We also have got in lane 4, Nikonelis Kioko, lane 2, Hilary Kiplangat and Evans Kipken, waiting for the start of the race. And off they go, and upright they are. Quite an interesting start for these athletes, as we can see that Samuel Kibet has taken off, running quite hard. Awori is just behind him, running upright, not yet picked the pace. But on the inside, we can see Kiplangat is closing on the gap, and just behind him, he's got Evans Kipngeno. As they move to the final bend, who's got the best kick as they get into this? It's going to be between the in lanes. And already we can see Kipngeno. He's picked up the pace. Awori is a tail ender. Kipngeno, he's gone past into the final 100 meters. He's picked up his pace as we see another kick coming in from Kiplangat. How strong is he? How well can he do? He makes a dash for the line, 49-47. And in second place, we've got Kipngeno and we've got Nikonelis Kioko from Southern taking third place.
Quite a good sprint from Hilary Kipngeno of South Rift, but failing to make that to meet that qualification time once again, finishing in 49. Remember, the qualification time is 47.35, but Hilary Kipngeno winning the heat, that is heat number 4 of the 400 meters men, ahead of Evans Kipngeno, who was in lane number 1. Hilary Kipngeno was in lane number 2, posting a time of 49. We'll be confirming the exact timings in a while, but Hilary Kiplangat winning that heat. It's the last heat of the 400 men. Coming up is the women first semi-final of the 1500 meters. Remember, it's day 1 of the World Under-20 Trials right here in Nairobi. A 3-day event that will see athletes selected to represent the country in the World Under-20 Championships to be held right here at the Kasarani Stadium, the beautiful Kasarani Stadium here in Nairobi. Remember, heat number 4 was won by Hilary Kiplangat of South Rift. And those are the times. Hilary Kiplangat posting a time of 49.50. Evans Kipngeno from Nyanza 5, 50.40. Samuel Kibet, 51. Nicolenius Kioko, 51.20. Awori Marcel also posting 51.2. Those are the timings of heat 4 of the 400 meters men. As we brace ourselves for the 1500 women first semi-final, we can see the athletes warming up on the other side of the pitch, all of them in 3 packs, warming up for the event that will be taking place shortly. We have Margaret Ekalale of Central, Naomi Kemboi of Central Rift, Daisy Chepngetich of Coast, Daisy Chepkorir of Nairobi, Mariam Chemutai, Janet Jepkoech, Cynthia Jelagat of Nyanza North, Eunice Boke of Nyanza South, Faith Chepkoech of South Rift, Purity Chepkirui of South Rift, Jennifer Mwende of Southern, Anastasia Chepngetich of the University, and Betty Jelangat. Remember, qualification time is 4 minutes, 28 seconds. That is 4.28 seconds. Also taking place right now is the women javelin. That is one event that we'll also be keeping an eye on to see if they will attain the qualification time. But meanwhile, it's the 1500 meters women first semi-final with 13 participants. The 1500 meters women semi-final number 2, Margaret Ekalale, Naomi Kemboi, Daisy Chepngetich, Daisy Chepkorir, Miriam Chemutai, Janet Jepkoech, Cynthia Chelagat, and Eunice Boke of Nyanza South.
The entry standard for this event is 4 minutes, 28 seconds. So 3 3/4 laps right here. And off they go. Diribe Weldeji of Ethiopia with the world leading time. 3 minutes, 58.93 at under 20 level. The best performing Kenya is Cynthia Baire. As they now make that run around the first bend, we'll be giving you the split times, pull up the cumulative times. Already still cagey at the moment. You can't tell who really looks like they want to break out, but the two leading ladies, 55, 56 seconds past the 300-meter mark. We shall be taking a look at them as they go past the 400-meter mark at this event. Remember, Kenya has got a strong heritage in this one. Faith Chepngetich already made her presence felt in this distance, the metric mile as they call it. 1:14 as they go through the 400 meters. The pace is slowly picking up in this event. Remember, there is just by the simple times here. Purity Chepkirui, one to look out for, running for South Rift. And we also have got Faith Chepkoech, also running for South Rift, which has been a stay for the women's 1500 meters. Still held all together as they make their way towards the home straight. As the pace is slowly picking up. And you can actually tell that in that single file, they are looking at a way of doing it, 2:08, and that is at 700 meters. What's going to be the time as they get to the 800-meter mark? And the pace is hitting up 2:25 as they go through 800 meters. Remember, anyone who would do 4:20 in Nairobi would actually be running quite fast at this age grade. One athlete has already been dropped, and that is Daisy Chepngetich right at the back. And now the pace is heating up as they head into the final 500 meters. Into a single file they are. This is going to be an interesting battle as we take a look at who is going to make a call as they make it to the final 100 meters. And we've got Margaret Ekalale, and the bell is just about to ring as they make their way into this. It's the final 400 meters. Who's going to take this? And the sprint has begun. A slow run and into at 3:20. That is with that is at the 1,100 meter mark with 400 meters to 300 meters to go. 1,200 meters. 3:30 is a split time. That would be quite a first time even for the men. As we see them through the home stretch, they're down to 3. This is going to be a very interesting finish. Just about 250 meters to go as they head into the final bend. This is a battle to make it to the final of the women's 1,100 meter final. 4:28. This is the time that's going to be easily breached. 4:25 is what I'll be looking at as a finish time, or even faster. And in the final stretch,
Purity Chepkorir.
Purity Chepkorir. Daisy Chepkorir makes her way to the finish line and clocks 4 minutes 17.19. Easily takes that event. What an interesting race that has been was KG until the final 400 meters when they got into a single file, 500 meters so to speak, got into a single file. Actually, the winner is Purity Chepkirui is the winner of that race.
From South Rift. Ran a very tactical race, ensured that she stayed with the leading pack and then broke out towards the end of the last lap, and she's just shown you that she's capable of taking this far. Purity Chepkirui of South Rift.
As we head into the second hit, semi-final 1. 12 athletes. First 4 in each heat and the other 4 based on time. That is how they qualify for the final. This is going to be competitive. Kenya, only 2 slots have been allocated for this event, and with the competition having made a clear declaration, the kind of competition that the Kenyans are going to face. Diribe Welteji of Ethiopia. She was running last night too. We've got Hiwot Mehari of Ethiopia, Priska Chesang, Gela Hambese de Gafa from Spain, Mireya Anadio, Jayla Hanko Cameron of Australia, Caitlin Turkey of the US, Sarah McGrail of the US, before we even get to Cynthia Baire, who is based in Japan. That is a kind of competition that Kenya will face when it comes to this event. And on to the second hit.
Hatujaanza interview, relax. Huyu number 2. Na huyu? Number 3 eh? Haya. Acha nimfanyie. Waambie waningoje.
I want to see how fast they can run at this point in time as they make their way round the bend. You would think that it is an 800.
It's very fast indeed.
Yes, an 800 meter race that
you look at the time. Actually, the 800 meter mark.
Well, that's just 45 for 300 meters. The split that you're taking a look at here is quite fast. As they go around there, we see a time of just about, well, yes, 1 minute for the first 800 meters. That is the split that we've been given. So you can see how fast they are, rather for the first 400 meters, which means that we are on pace for something that's in the region of 345, 350, 345, 350.
It's very attainable as they come to the last bend towards the
well, they've done, yeah, that's about now what, 500, 600 meters.
600 meters before they come to the bell. It's
well, there's still one more lap before
one more
the
lap
bell.
to go. It's quite fast. Look at the timings right now. 140. Actually, 147. That is the 800 meter mark. It's quite fast, this one, and you can see the athletes, nothing much to separate them. They head into the last look at that, nothing to separate the athletes. So many of them are trying to squeeze for the first positions in the men 1500 meters. It's very, very, very competitive. We'll be looking at the second heat with keen interest because of the highlights. But then you look at heading into the last lap, Wahome.
Well, just taking a look at these athletes, you can tell that they are not yet broken so far. And this is going to be an interesting, as the bell goes, 2:49 with 500 meters to go. Not yet broken so far, these athletes, but it's now getting into a single file at the 1200 meter mark. What is the time on the clock? It is 3:04. 300 meters to go, and the sprint is quite strong coming in from the diminutive Chariot. He still has got a gap. The question is, can he hold on to it? There is the lanky Aswell Kiprop. There is Timothy Chariot with his interesting running style. But now this looks like something that we could have seen from Elijah Manangoi. But just look at the break of pace into the final 100 meters. This is going to be a fire finish coming in here. How fast can he run? Just take a look at this. It's so strong from him. He's running quite fast. 3:43, 44, 45, and inside the qualifying time, 3:46.88 coming in from Azad Kimutai. Well,
from North Rift.
Yes.
You said personal bests are not really
actually
important.
That is Simon Kipko's game from Nyanza North. Simon Kipko game, winning that so convincingly with that run, 3:46.88. He has met the qualifying standard for that event. But what a run from him, and you've got to acknowledge that he has given a good account for himself in this semi-final. Recovery, a day, just about 2 days.
Actually
48 hours until the final is run on Saturday.
But then you look at how he took the last bend. He was fired up. He knew that he was inside the qualification time. At the end of it, attaining that qualification time by clocking 3:46. It's very, very impressive, especially looking at the conditions right here at the Kasarani Stadium. But we are in for the second heat as we await for the official timings of these athletes. The second heat is very, very interesting. You look at how it's been lined up. Etiang and Keter, both heading to Rio, but they're here also seeking for